So Donald Trump has been caught in another lie. So shocking, right? So out of character. Who could have seen this coming? I mean, this guy just lies 24/7, and this is no exception. So today, he posted this minute-long video on Truth Social where he's rambling about the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare. And in this video, he's saying that he supports Obamacare. He doesn't want to get rid of it like Joe Biden is saying, which is completely contradictory to every single argument he's made prior to this point and every single position that he's taken prior to this point. So obviously he is lying to the American people, right? He wants to get rid of Obamacare, but he knows that position is unpopular, so he's going to lie to try to win and then do it if he does. So it's crazy. We're going to take a look at that Trump video, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit later. And then I have an MSNBC compilation to show you of all of the different times that Donald Trump has said he wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act or that it's garbage. But before we look at that Trump clip, make sure to subscribe down below. It goes such a long way. But here is that rambling Truth Social video that Donald Trump posted.
I'm not running to terminate the ACA, as crooked Joe Biden says all over the place. I'm running to close the border, stop inflation, make our economy great, strengthen our military, and make the ACA, or Obamacare as it's sometimes known, much better, stronger, and far less expensive, because it's much too expensive now and it's not very good. We're going to make it much better, much stronger. In other words, make the ACA much, much better and far less money cost to the people. We don't want people paying the kind of numbers that they're being forced to pay. It's ridiculous. To our great American citizens who have been decimated by Biden, his record, his inflation, his bad economy, Afghanistan catastrophe, and just about everything else, we're going to make the ACA much better than it is right now and much less expensive for you. Crooked Joe Biden is by far the worst president in the history of the United States. You're going to go to the best president in the history of the United States, me.
God, I said this in a recent video, but it is really just so difficult to listen to him speak. He's just, he goes on these incoherent ramblings, and you're just sitting there like, oh, God, it's painful. It makes you shrug and get a little tense in the shoulders, He didn't really say anything there, and he just recycled 3 talking points over and over again for a minute straight. He said Obamacare is expensive, it's bad, and Biden is bad. That's what he said, just over and over and over again. And you're watching him are you gonna articulate this in a different way? Or are you gonna make an argument that is not just, oh, I don't like Joe Biden? No, of course not. And he also doesn't lay out how he's going to go about what he's suggesting in that video. He never does, right? You ask Donald Trump about the intricacies of the policies that he's proposing, and he goes, no, next question. I don't like that question. Next question. Because he just gives these broad strokes. He says, I'm going to do this. And then we're like, how? And he's like, well, I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far, right? But he just keeps repeating the same things over and over again. It's like, my God, get a new talking point. The campaign is stale, Donald. The campaign is stale. And how narcissistic is Donald Trump? Do you hear him at the end there? He's like, Biden's been the worst president ever, and we're going to return to the best president ever, me, right? He ranks himself above Obama, above FDR, above Roosevelt, above Lincoln, above Washington. He says he is the best president ever. This guy who incited an insurrection, didn't accomplish anything as president, lied to the American people about the 2020 election and more. That's what he did as president. That's the summary. He ranks himself above Lincoln. He's such a narcissist, right? He's so sociopathic. It's insane. And also, just as a reminder for all of the MAGA people, Donald Trump had 4 years as president. 2 of them, he controlled the Senate and the House. And he did not get any health care reform. We're still waiting on that bill, he said, that health care bill that he said was going to be released in 2 weeks. Well, now it's been 4 years, and there's no healthcare policy. He had his entire presidency to try to do something better on healthcare, kind of bring in the experts and make something happen. He didn't. His only plan was just let's get rid of Obamacare and then leave it, and we'll figure it out later. But 4 years. 4 years he had the opportunity to do it, and he didn't. He didn't do anything on healthcare. He made it worse, significantly worse. But as I mentioned, Donald Trump is on record talking about how much he dislikes the Affordable Care Act. all the time he talked about this in 2020 and 2016, but now he's changing his tune because he realizes how unpopular that position is. So MSNBC put together a bunch of clips of Donald Trump saying how bad it is, and they aired it today in response to this clip. So take a look at that compilation here.
We're going to create great health care. We're going to get rid of Obamacare. We're going to terminate it.
We're going to win by knocking the hell out of Obamacare, terminating it.
With Obamacare, getting back to the boring subject, it's almost a waste of time talking about it because when we terminate it, all we'll do is say it was a bad experience for the American people.
We are decimating Obamacare. We got a bad vote the evening. We got a bad vote the evening that we were going to terminate Obamacare. Hopefully we'll win at the appellate division and go to the Supreme Court to terminate Obamacare.
We want to terminate Obamacare because it's bad. Look, we're running it really well, but we know it's defective.
What we are doing is we want to terminate health care under Obamacare because it's bad.
We almost got it done, but John McCain voted against it. That was a bad day. Remember that? Thumbs down after campaigning for 10 years. Thumbs down, everybody.
And also, aside from Donald Trump's own words, we have his own record. So as president, he did everything in his power to weaken Obamacare that he could do within the executive. But he also tried to get it repealed in the courts and specifically through Congress. Here's an article on your screen from 2017 talking about how the Obamacare repeal vote failed. 3 Republican senators rebelled in a 49-51 vote. And famously, John McCain voted no by just like sticking out his arm and putting a thumbs down. It's like a very famous moment on the Senate floor. And following that no vote for McCain, Trump admonished him, like slammed him on every social media platform saying that he was this or that he was that. I mean, we've all heard Donald Trump talk about John McCain. So he was very much wanting it to be repealed in 2017 and throughout his entire presidency. And he very much tried, and he railed against the people who didn't fall in line with him on that. But now he wants to switch his tune. Now he realizes how unpopular that position is. So he wants to take the stance of, oh, I don't want to get rid of it. I just want to make it better. Give me a break. I mean, give me a break. The entire Trump campaign pitch for 2024 is, hey, we're going to make your life a lot worse, but we're not going to tell you how we're going to make your life worse, but we also just want to stay out of prison, so vote for us. That is the entire message that Trump and his fellow MAGA Republicans are running on in 2024, and, you know, I think we can all agree that that's not a great message. And last thing I want to say about all of this, because it's so incredibly relevant, and we've talked about this in recent days, is that the Republicans are shifting away from their unpopular positions right now because it's an election year. So magically, in 2024, they're going to be pro-choice. They're going to care about the climate. They're going to care about Obamacare. They're going to suddenly say we need some tougher gun regulation and whatnot on all these different issues. Suddenly, magically, they just flip because it's an election year, and then they get into office, and you know we see this pattern all the time. They say this, they get into office, and then they do the exact opposite of what they said on the campaign trail. And you're seeing it from like every MAGA candidate right now. They realize how unpopular they are. So they're like, oh God, we got to like fake it. We got to fake it. We got to lie. And hopefully people will believe us. But, you know, we're in the age of technology. We have all of these clips of Donald Trump previously saying he loves the fact that Roe v. Wade was overturned or he wants to terminate Obamacare. You know, on any issue, we have Trump on record, right? So this is probably Donald Trump's new lie that he suddenly loves Obamacare. It's not going to work, just like his Roe v. Wade lie is not going to work either. But it's just something to keep in mind as we get closer to 2024. You're going to see all these Republican candidates lying to the American people. And it's a real shame. It's a real shame that these folks have the possibility of being in elected office. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Make sure to subscribe down below. It goes such a long way. Drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think. Share the video with anybody you think needs to see it, especially those who use the Affordable Care Act. And as I always say at the end of these videos, if we persevere, we work hard, we'll get President Biden reelected in 2024 and beat Donald Trump again.